I know you. I know you too. You two are behind the demise of Hulkamania. I know about the Zodiac. I know about the dangerous Kamala. And oh yeah, I know about the Man-Eater, the Shark. But etched in stone is the legacy, the immortality of Hulkamania. And you too will be buried beneath it. You don't understand, Hogan. This is where darkness dwells and lives. Nobody...
All right, SG1, Real Alien Talk, back in the cut. It's been we've had a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah.
It's probably been like 2 years since we going by the time travel method. You kind of lose track of exactly when the last show was, because we had that little issue with time travel and that. Mm-hmm. You are Ben, my co-host.
Yeah, I'm factually here.
Or maybe you're the host and I'm the co-host. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
But either way, we're kind of here under the guise of doing a podcast like we do, sporadically every now and then, Real Alien Talk. But real reason we actually gathered you here is this is an intervention. I don't want to make this awkward or like we're confronting you or anything, but you've just been acting really erratic, and like since you got back from overseas, actually before you left for overseas, to be honest, I mean, you just kind of. You all right, man? Everything cool?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to not like we're coming down on you or anything, but like, are you? Everything's good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we won't make the intervention too painful. But if you ever need to talk, we'll just do it here on the podcast. You know, live therapy,
live on air.
But hey, you just got back from overseas. Like that's why we haven't been able to record for a while. So, I mean, how did you survive? Like,
Oh, how was it?
First of all, did you find the Grail? Like, that was your mission?
No. I literally...
It's Holy Grail.
Yeah. It's Holy Grail. I literally had zero time to do anything. I was like in full babysitter mode.
So you didn't find the George Foreman Holy Grail?
No, not...
Damn. That was the whole reason we planned this trip.
Yeah.
Well, were you there?
I helped you plan it. I gave you one task to do before you went overseas to find the Holy Grail.
Yeah, if I was in charge of other human beings while I was there.
So did you get to see any sights besides the Grail? Like any...
Yeah, I saw some stuff. I visited the Berlin Wall. I went there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you bring a piece of it back?
No. You can get a piece of the Berlin Wall pound internet for like $1.
$1?
Probably.
Really? Say when it first came down, how much do you think prices were then?
It was a chunks of concrete. It was worth nothing. The only pieces that are worth anything is like certain parts of the wall, like famous graffiti artists did murals or pictures on certain pieces. And those, if you get the whole wall with the whole picture, that's worth some money. But otherwise, it's not worth shit 'cause there's so much of it.
So it's like if you buy like a Picasso painting, like if you only have half of it, it's not quite as...
Yeah, it's probably not worth as much as with the whole one.
But if you ever combine the two halves, like find the other dealer that has the other half, and you can put them together, like the Mad magazine. Fold it over and see a new picture. You know what I'm talking about? So you survive overseas. Mm-hmm. Do you want to say what band you're managing? Do you want to?
Nah, just in case I say something.
You never know with you. You are called the loose cannon for a reason. That Brian Pillman style. You just throw out some crazy shit that you don't really think about when you're saying it. You don't have a filter that just... Somewhat. It's straight from your brain to your mouth. Like
somewhat. I mean...
Sometimes you do?
Somewhat. I mean, sometimes...
He just used it. He didn't tell you what band he was with.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Show straight. He's
That's
like,
the
filter.
filter.
Maybe I shouldn't say...
Yeah.
Maybe... Okay, it stops like mid-sentence. Maybe I shouldn't say what the band was. That's your filter.
It was.
Overall,
everything else is okay.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty good trip. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it was
cool.
Pretty good. I mean, this was that band's first time over there, and it did fairly well. I mean, getting there kind of was a little tough because one of the guys was having passport trouble, and we had to go to Detroit to get all his passport stuff done.
Now, is this explain that situation? Like, if you have something with a photograph that's not, if they think it's a damaged photograph,
it could be anything with your passport could be wrong or they think needs to be fixed. They can request you to fix it, But this was
Uh-huh.
like, his photo kept getting messed up. Like, I don't know what the hell they were doing.
Mhm.
The first time in the mail, like, we got a letter back that said, hey, your photo was messed with. We're like, what? And I called, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's like something happened between the time in which you mailed it to it got here, something happened to the photograph.
Really?
They're like, it has nothing to do with you, something happened with the post office. Like, okay, so we take another picture, and even they're like, with a certain measurement of like the chin and the nose, it wasn't right. So we literally went there, got a photo, and got all the paperwork done and stuff.
So that's like the equivalent of someone telling you, like, the check's in the mail. And it's really
Yeah.
not in the mail. They're just saying,
Yeah.
it's just fucked up and it's not.
It was really, I think a lot of it had to do with the guy that we're dealing with the photograph, had a bunch of like tattoos on his face. So I think that was like one of their issues, but they didn't want to
Really?
say that was the issue.
Really?
Yeah.
So they would think you, like, they're not getting the true identity of someone if they, like, have a
Who-
face piece,
Who
like,
knows what the hell they think? A lot of, like, when it comes to politics, in my opinion, is just happens to be who's in front of you, who answers the letter, or that picks up the phone.
Mhm.
What kind of person that person is.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I have a face tattoo.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's not very well known, not a very well known fact, but I've never had a problem like going to like Springfield or Dayton or Indiana. I've never gone overseas.
Was there
with
any
a head
Have you
tattoo.
applied for a passport?
No, I haven't. So I don't know if that'd be a problem when that time comes.
It
Hopefully
may
not.
be, because I'm like, no. So they want to actually, like, see you in person.
I have
They
one-
didn't want to say they want to see you in person.
I have renewed my license with a face tattoo.
Yeah, but you're there in person.
Okay.
You know?
So yeah. But I don't really like being there in person. Like, I don't like. I hate that process.
I'm surprised you can't do that online right now.
Right. Why do I have to go every
Yeah.
few
They got
years to
cameras
renew my
on
license?
computers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on my phone, I can just... boom,
My
right
driving
here.
doesn't deteriorate. It's the same as it always been.
Well, maybe they stick your
I don't
eye-
think it's bad.
They just want to see you stick your eyes in that fucking eye chip
Right.
thing that apparently never works. So we know there's tons of fucking car
Yeah.
wrecks of people who can't
Right.
see well.
And you're at the DMV all fucking day. It's like Patty and Soma, right? And they're just laughing that the line's so fucking long.
It is, man.
Their joke was, some days the line doesn't move at all, and we call those Tuesdays.
Now,
Patty
do you
and Soma.
think...
But at least we get to go together. At least, ours
Right.
Yeah.
So could you ever fill in for your brother?
Oh, I'm sure.
You think you can pull that off?
I'm absolutely sure I could go get his life driver's license.
Oh, yeah, I get it. I probably...
guarantee it.
Kind of like in wrestling, where one guy goes under the ring, another guy comes out.
Killer B.
Yeah.
Oh,
something like that.
we can totally Killer B the DMV.
Mass confusion was
Yeah.
what they called it.
But I guarantee the DMV is like one of those places, like, they have a government issue on, like, how to set the lines up, what color the walls should be.
right.
For, like, attitude and, like...
All this red tape.
Yeah.
We should do that one episode. See how much actual government issue information we get of each other's shit.
right.
It's gonna
How much info we can dig up on each
Yeah,
other.
get like his, because I know I could get my picture on his driver's license.
You think so?
Like, I guarantee I can
Really?
get one. Yeah,
So you just show up and say,
I'm him.
I'm Ben
and
Parker,
give him the ID, the locat, and
yeah.
I guarantee I
and
could.
you just trade off.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
We should try that.
You should. That'd be a very documentarian podcast. We'll just report back what we had. Today's a kind of a national holiday. It's WrestleMania Day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Pretty excited about WrestleMania.
I mean,
We're watching it now, the preview show.
I'm
Is
glad...
this still the
Yeah, this is this is actually like the kind of one of the first ones as far as like matches. It's alright, but I think this is one of the more lackluster WrestleManias.
I think so too. This is probably one of the coldest WrestleManias I can ever remember.
There's not really any like super deep, crazy feud or like.
Is there any crazy musicians on it this year?
I'm
like,
sure
is
there
like
is.
Prince or anybody on it or anything?
Remember Salt and Pepper was on WrestleMania?
Salt and Pepper.
Liberace.
They brought, yeah, Liberace.
Big Bam Bigelow scared the shit out of Salt
Yeah,
and Pepper.
yeah. They brought Lawrence Taylor to the ring.
LT.
Am I right? Yeah. What's LT doing now? Does he still wrestle?
The law.
Yeah, he's probably just hanging out.
Just hanging out. About Dennis Rodman, he had a pretty good.
He's
wrestling
hanging out with the
career.
fucking guy from North Korea.
That's
what
right.
I'm saying.
I heard he's brought there to like do like all-star basketball or whatever. Or
Fuck,
something.
who knows, man?
Yeah.
Did you see him do the interview?
No, I heard about it. Though.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard enough about it that I've seen it.
I feel like that's something very similar that happened in that movie. Is
Right,
Dennis
right.
Rodman and the North Korean guy.
Now, isn't it so bizarre that World War III could have started because of Seth Rogen and?
Oh
that
yeah,
guy's name?
but that was so much bullshit. That was the same shit they did with the Blair Witch. like put out all this like shit was supposed to be real, but then they did a movie.
I don't know, man. They lost a lot of money with that movie.
With the interview, but they got
instantly on Netflix. Yeah, they
worldwide
lost some
free
money.
press. And
North
shit.
Korea
That's true, but I think they
is
lost
not
some
known for their sense of humor.
No.
So, like, they probably took that as legit, like a war threat.
But a place that can barely keep the power on.
I know.
On their own country.
I know the guy's
Well-
dad, the original dictator.
Yeah.
When they asked him on some
Kim
like,
Jong.
2020, yeah, when he asked him 2020 like an interview who his hero was, and it was James Bond.
Really?
So he loved James Bond.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're kind of like Americanized, like
Mhm.
over there. But these people not really known for taking a joke.
No.
Not really known for comedies.
I'm sure that they don't really care for Team America.
Right,
You know,
in particular. Ever since then, it's been a little rocky.
yeah.
I mean, the world tour of the comedies tour. I mean, come on.
Hey, producer Chad, you kind of know. What was the original show that Team America was? Wasn't there another puppet show? Like
Oh,
in the 60s?
Thunderbirds or something like
Yeah.
that.
Was it?
Yeah, they Thunderbird.
The Amazing Thunderbird.
I'll have to look up. It was like Amazing Thunderbird.
So what was
something
their
like that.
mission?
They were puppets.
They were. Well, they actually were puppets.
They were.
But they had some objective.
They
to
worked
do,
for like
right?
a government agency. They're like a GI Joe, basically.
Okay, so
Yeah.
basically Team America.
Yeah, Team America.
Kind of being on the topic of WrestleMania today, being a national holiday for some people.
It just reached that point.
I do want to see Sting. I'm hoping he's wearing the old
Oh, he will. He's
Sting
wearing
face paint.
Oh, you mean like the buzz?
blonde
Yeah,
hair
yeah.
and shit?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He's
Come on, come on.
like that.
That's what I want to see. Come on.
That's what I want to see too. Blonde hair.
I want to see
A man called
1992.
Sting.
Yeah. Ow! 1992 Sting. You know, big splash.
He'll
Super Kid that
probably
fun.
do the big splash.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do that.
I want him to repel from the fucking thing.
Well, as we see the shot now, I don't think there's much to really rappel down from.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much. Well, that Pepsi logo there thing.
We have an open air arena. I don't think there's anything you really attach his repelling to per se.
I don't know.
You know. But did you find a wrestling conspiracy site that we gotta?
Oh, earlier.
Some of these
or
are
something.
gold.
Yeah.
Some of these are gold, and we gotta go. There were so many good ones. I want to go one by one and just. Okay, what site was this you found this on?
It was hang on a second. It was the top 10 wrestling Illuminati conspiracy theories.
Tremendous.
But they all weren't Illuminati, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, they all were like Illuminati.
They all somehow
Century.
tied into a
Okay.
Illuminati like.
Well,
Conspiracy.
satanic, Illuminati.
Yeah, yeah.
Which a lot of people say they're hand in hand with each other, but I mean, who fucking knows unless you actually are in the Illuminati or.
Hey, one hand washes the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Am
Why
I
not?
I don't know if we talked about this, but
Water cooler talk. Hey, you're Satan. Yeah, Illuminati. Hey, Satan Illuminati. You know?
I don't know if we should talk about this, but SG1 and I had a conversation one night in the car that we both really want to try to join the Freemasons, but we don't think they would really tell us straight.
Right.
We only get like the first like level, and they're like, "Fuck these guys."
Okay.
we're not letting them any further.
I don't know if we've talked about this, but the guitar player from Eurif, is that right? YRIF?
Earth,
Mhm.
Earth.
That played at the Rockstar Pro Arena.
Yeah,
Cheap plug.
yeah.
He is a Freemason, and he wants to come on the show and
Oh,
tell
awesome.
us about it. You guys interested in that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll arrange that. He talked to me quite a while back.
Like, what's the ceremony fully like?
Right,
So
okay.
you just do
But again, is he
work
somebody?
into-
Again, we talked about this. Like, they're only gonna tell people like him so much.
Right,
Like,
now-
only the top tier that actually know the shit.
Exactly. Now, Freemasonry, like you just said, like the very top, I think it's something very different to the people on top as opposed to all the
Oh,
people
yeah,
on the bottom.
totally.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's what I know, and I even asked,
Just
forgive me, his name's Michael, right?
I have no idea.
Oh, no.
Okay. If you're listening, I'm so sorry.
Just say Earth.
Yeah, or he plays guitar and sings now. He gave me a little rundown. He said he can talk about anything because I was like, if you come on the podcast, is there anything, you're sworn to secrecy or whatever?
Yeah, he's gonna be
He
like-
said all the shit you can find on the internet, it's like public knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've looked into about Freemasonry, here's what I know: you kiss a book that you can't see. You're blindfolded. Now, what are you kissing? The Holy Bible, the Satanic Bible.
Yeah,
what do
you
you
know,
kiss
it's
them?
like right from the get-go, you don't even know what you're really endorsing.
Mm-hmm.
You know. How do you feel about that, man? There's like lizard people at the very top. Or do you think?
It's probably just an ancient man's club culture thing. That
Think so?
has, thread itself into like our culture just by how long it's been around.
So you think relatively like unharmless? Do you think just old
just
dudes hanging out?
Dudes hanging out wearing elk helmets.
Tuesday meetings with donuts and
anything can be harmful or harmless. I mean, if it's that thread into our history, because it's been around for a long, long time, and like a lot of our unions and some shit like that. So I'm sure it has somewhat political maneuvering just by its association it's had with families or legacies throughout the United States. You know,
right? How do you feel about the Roman Catholic Church? Do you think now there are theories that Nazis that infiltrated into this church? There's another theories that at the top it's you're worshiping Satan. Do you think anything like that's going on? Do you think it's just?
I mean, I've personally been to the Vatican 3 times.
Yeah,
I went there and visited there. One of the times I was there was when John Paul passed away. And it was during the whole time when they were trying to wait for the news. So I saw all like black smoke out of steeples and all that stuff. But it's definitely another...
Explain that for maybe someone that doesn't know like that tradition.
Like, until they find a new pope, there's a chimney which is outside, on top of the Vatican. And that continuously pumps black smoke until they find a new pope, and then they release this white smoke.
So everybody agrees upon the lecture upon a new pope.
In that tradition, is there a reason for the black smoke? Like, does it represent anything?
I really don't. It's just an old traditional thing. I'm
the
sure
white smoke's produced by something I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some actual thing to it, but I just know that's just,
Right.
a long thing.
Now, I know our producer is a big Star Wars fan.
Oh, yeah.
And the latest pope kind of comes off as, like, Emperor Palpatine. Doesn't he look exactly like him? There's a meme you can actually look up where they put the new Pope side by side with the Emperor, and it's identical. Like he's becoming the Emperor from Star Wars. So
I do like the newer Pope better than the Pope.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gone against some of the older traditions and has a more way of thinking.
Yeah. Now one of the more of interest.
Of course, they said that about Palpatine too.
Oh, exactly.
He was manipulating behind the scenes, and everyone liked him. And it was Jar Jar, actually, that put the final vote to make him emperor. I don't know if you know this.
No, I don't. I haven't really seen any like the news.
Really? Again, I have no. I like.
Okay,
see.
So
I've seen clips of the shit, but I've never.
Everyone really say if you're like of a certain age, you like don't really like Jar Jar. Maybe the kids do. Up in Star Wars.
Isn't they say like that character's racist too?
They did.
Yeah.
There were like Phantom Menace. There were a lot of like really very racist. Like the Trade Federation comes off as like
a
Asian.
Jewish trade.
Yeah, they were very money hoarding, kind of like a Jewish Asian type combination. Like the accents, there's a lot of weird shit going on there. But everyone grows to hate Jar Jar, and there's a good reason because he put into motion all the shit that happens later. Like he cast the final vote in the whatever you call it, the supreme vote thing to make Palpatine the Emperor.
See, I don't know that at all.
So all that shit that happens later, it's all Jar Jar's fault.
He said the vote for Palpatine. Who the fuck is even that guy?
So you're just like producer Chad. That was his exact same thing. Who the fuck is Palpatine?
Yeah, who the fuck is that?
All right, our listeners, they're
I
gonna.
guess that's like a Sith Lord or some shit later on.
Yeah.
Or something? Okay.
But the Sith, you always have to keep it in secret. Like, there's only 2 at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Darth Maul was one.
The Spike, the 2-sword fucking spear guy and shit.
Yeah. But, he was well liked on the outside, and but he's messing around with all this manipulation shit as Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Darth Sidious is what he started off. Our listeners are going to have a much better idea. I'm not the only one. I know I'm in a room where you guys are just like, what the fuck are you talking about? But they're going to have a much better idea of what... I'll post some links later, But we kind of got off on a tangent, but let's get back to the Wrestling Illuminati top 10 list, because this is pure gold.
So again, this is repeat what this is. This is
the top 10 WWE conspiracies involving the Illuminati.
Involving the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of them are kind of sad. Like, number 10 off the bat is kind of sad. Dalton Moyer's death.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it was just strange how he talked about his own death in his speech, and it's kind of coincidence.
Right.
And I think the Illuminati is involved in the whole multimedia calamity with Vince McMahon anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like their link and involvement of just trying to make more money for the company and the Illuminati, by having him come give a speech. And ultimately, they also say is the Ultimate Warrior knew of his death that was about to happen.
I was going to say that. Okay, I appreciate a good conspiracy theory as much as anyone.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think an Illuminati, was out to target the Ultimate Warrior.
I think things happen.
Yeah, but do you believe that someone can know when they're dying?
Well, I do think I always thought it was
if you're in
interesting.
this water, you're about to die.
I always thought it was interesting. This is non-wrestling stuff, but that Schultz, who wrote Peanuts, died as they're basically having their last Peanuts cartoon newspaper being pressed.
Right.
And I thought it was weird. I was like, this guy does this huge cartoon called the Peanuts, retires, and as the last cartoon is being pressed on the newspapers, he passes away.
Right. And it's so much what you put your life energy in, when that's depleted.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot about husband and wives, sometimes the wife will die, and the husband will die a week after or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's what you put so much of your life into, when that's gone, it's you're almost literally lost the will to live.
Or you feel fulfilled,
Yeah, your time is done.
I'm done. I'm done.
I think Warrior was kind of like that. He had the long grudge with Vince McMahon, and that was settled by last year at this time, right?
Yeah.
You see Pat Patterson.
This actually may be the one good thing of WrestleMania, the ladder match for the is it Intercontinental? I'm sure that's why I got Pat there. Is Intercontinental?
This is a pre-show?
Yeah, this is the pre-show.
No, this is the WrestleMania.
Oh, we're actually on WrestleMania now.
Oh, it's a kickoff. But this may be the match I think that might, still unite somewhat. But anyway.
Ultimate Warrior, last year this time, that was probably such a... He had held on to that for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe he felt like that was his life's purpose, and his life energy was gone after that. Literally the next day, he did Raw the next night.
Yeah, coincidence though, man.
And did that promo they're talking about on this site.
Yeah,
basically.
And also, he puts, and they linked us to a lot of other things. And what I'm about to say can link us to number 9 anyway. Is the fact that Warrior in the Ring was doing the devil horns, what they also say is a Illuminati symbol, which links to number 9, the Wolfpack sign. The Wolfpack / Click sign, which is the too sweet,
right,
is a satanic Illuminati symbol.
Really?
But isn't that didn't Aton LaVey? Wasn't that one of the things they used? Was that
without
the Texas Longhorn?
Okay, this is from what I understand.
But theirs was this.
From what I understand, a podcast isn't really a visual medium.
Yeah.
They just listen to it, so they can't see what we're doing here.
If you listen to the No Too Sweet, I'm sorry, reference Wolfpack Too Sweet.
Too Sweet is more of the Texas Longhorns, where you take your thumb and you take your 2 middle fingers and you put them together and stretching out your pinky and whatever this first finger is to make kind of a bull's head.
And there was a long tradition in wrestling of this, where Stan Hansen did it.
Stan Hansen did it.
A lot of Texas
Longhorns have done it for years. And what I was saying was the Anton LaVey in the Church of Satan. Theirs was you take your thumb. You do the same thing, but instead of having a bull's face, you take those 2 middle fingers, you push them in, and you have your thumb over it.
Right.
It's more metal now. But
later popularized by Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
He made the horns.
Well, he's
famous.
the big one, too, says who did the horns. Ozzy or fucking...
And Anton LaVey, they used it more as a secret inside.
Yeah.
Ronnie James Dio popularized it.
I didn't know if it was is that pretty much, was that kind of their secret handshake in a sense? Was
more from what I understand. Yeah. And there was something about the Church of Satan back in the day. I believe this was 1970. There was a division of the Church of Satan in Dayton, Ohio, called the Stygian Grotto. And Anton LaVey himself came down and shut it down because it was just total debauchery.
Really?
All
just
this
too much hardcore shit.
And they had a what would you say, a sanctioned chapter where he was okay, you can start your own division of the Church of Satan in Dayton, Ohio.
Was this 70s, 80s?
This was 1970, I believe.
Okay. Yeah,
you maybe look it up if you want to open a tab for more info, but it was the Stygian Grotto, and it just got so out of control that he personally came down to Dayton, Ohio, and was you guys are...
how...
You're out
just influenced by gangs and shit.
I don't know exactly what was happening. I don't think it's ever really been documented. It's kind of hard to find info on it.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't just write this everywhere.
But for whatever reason, Anton LaVey was no more. You're out of the Church of Satan.
Oh,
fuck you guys.
Yeah. And what level are you at where he's got to drive his ass from New York?
Right.
Well, France. He was in France too for a long
But he's got to get his shit together and go. I've heard enough.
Yeah.
Shut this shit
This
down.
is before like social media and all that. Like you weren't getting reports on Facebook.
No, they were calling.
No, people were calling or they were going there and reporting back to him that, dude.
So you heard enough word of mouth about the Stygian Grotto that you were like, fuck, you guys are out of the Church of Satan. Fuck you guys.
So do you know that they continue with something else, or they just...
They did, and I can't remember what the other division was, but they did like try almost like a competing division with the Church of Satan. I want to say like the Temple of Set or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But they kept going. But the guy that I can't remember his name, he eventually became a minister. Totally switched sides.
Oh, really?
Just this is like 50 years later. I think he died very recently, but he became just saved, religious, whatever.
Wow.
You know, totally switched sides. Back to our list.
While we're on the devil talk topic.
So we have
So
the warrior, and then we have the
Wolfpack click hand symbol.
So we're going down the whole list.
Now
Let's
we're
start.
number 8, which is the WCW logo is evil.
This is my favorite one.
According to the conspiracy theorists, if you look at the middle of the logo above the word championship, you can see the face of a demon with 2 eyes and an open mouth, which symbolizes the devil and how evil World Championship Wrestling actually is. Now I know WCW had some bad booking towards the end. This thing it looks satanic. The World Championship Wrestling logo with the whole demon. Above the championship looks like eyes, and below it the C looks like a mouth.
So they're talking about the WCW logo from like late 80s, early 90s, kind of, aren't they? With the like.
This is actually they made a newer one towards the end of the company.
Well, they made one when Vince McMahon bought WCW. He changed the logo of WCW, which a lot of people say that the 3 pyramids on the newer WCW is a symbolism of pyramids, which is also related to like the whole satanic, Illuminati.
For whatever reason, there's deep pyramid references in like almost everything of a position of power. Like on the back of the dollar bill, there's the pyramid.
With a triangle with the fucking hexagram.
I always thought our money was very interesting the way it was designed.
Yeah. Like what do they want to like broadcast something? They're telling you something with all that imagery, but they don't want you to know at the same time.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of money, we might as well just go ahead and jump to number 7. The Raw entrance ramp is evil.
The Raw entrance ramp. Okay,
and this
we got to hear this one.
And this is why I with the whole money thing you guys are talking about. So, conspiracy theorists often point out to the back of the U.S. dollar bill to show that the Illuminati control the United States because a pyramid with an all-seeing eye appears on the currency, which you're talking about the money.
Yeah.
This is apparently the same pyramid that appears on the Raw stage every week on live television also.
So you're saying the pyramid?
Yeah.
If you,
it says the pyramid's question are the ones that support the huge WWE logo on the left side of the stage. Conspiracy theorists also point out how many times that logo is used as a weapon and shown on camera.
I'll have to actually pay attention because I don't know.
Well, this is the WWE logo, so maybe it changes to its WWE logo or it's a newer one.
I'll have to look because I'm not.
If you really dig deep enough, you can find a pyramid imagery in anything,
or
literally anything.
3s or 6. You can find in everything if you really look.
I do find this list very entertaining.
Yeah,
like they're really reaching on.
I was like, some of these are kind of reaching. Like number 6, John Cena is evil.
I won't argue there.
When Cena first entered the WWE as a chain gang soldier and played a wrestling Eminem, he used a different hand gesture. Cena, he basically
what did he
link
call
the
this?
thumbs and have your fist
pinkies.
with the pinkies out, kind of like a giant horn thing.
Yeah.
Now,
so it's like an extended horn, like it's
which they say is part of the Illuminati's satanic thing. But then, how when he became a main event star and morphed into the Fruity Pebbles John Cena, he modified that hand gesture, which is like the hustle thing, which is basically a circle with your index finger and your thumb with your 3 other fingers pointing out, which is a symbol of 3 6s.
So on one hand, you're throwing up 3. If you put up both, 666. Right?
No, you just put one because you got 3 fingers, and this is a 6.
Oh, I got you.
So it's 3
Okay.
6 6 6.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't think he did that intentionally. just my gut
The
feeling.
new symbol is kind of interesting. Like, oh yeah, I do see 3 6s.
Right.
You know.
Right. What about Diamond Dallas Page. You think he was?
Well, he's in this actually.
You think-
Too. That,
okay.
You're very
Is that
jumpy.
coming up?
No, the next one is the Chris Benoit death, which a lot
Goodness.
of people conspiracy theories go into.
There's all kinds of
There's
crazy
all kinds
shit.
of weird shit, which I don't even want to go into that much because we can sit here and make that just a whole podcast show itself.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and move to number 5, I believe, where we're going to be at. No, number 4. Triple H is evil.
Triple H is evil.
Yes.
Well, if you follow the character he plays on WWE television,
He does carry a sledgehammer.
He
Well,
is
that's
evil.
one.
I mean-
Why you speak of that, the sledgehammer has
Oh.
a lot with why
Okay, let's
people
hear
think
this.
the
Oh, okay.
Illuminati are to him.
Without saying this, let me throw out a guess. It's like a Thor representation of Old Norse
Well,
gods.
a lot of people say it's a representation of the sickle portion of the hammer and sickle symbol of the former Soviet Union.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, communism. Okay.
Yeah, so which was the evil communist villain for better part of.
But I didn't know communists had anything to do with the Illuminati. Like, communism and Illuminati don't really make
I think
much
with
sense.
this list, they're really grabbing from a lot of
Okay.
different directions.
I
Yeah,
can see a
Try
lot
to-
of psychology in it. I mean, they also say Hunter's weapon choice shows his true political beliefs. Which I can see it psychosomatic, maybe, leaning into.
Right.
Another piece of evidence is Triple H's logo on his tights and t-shirt. For years, Hunter has been using an iron cross as his logo, and some people believe this isn't just to look cool. The belief is that this iron cross is actually the symbol of the Knights Templar, an organization from the Crusades who have guarded many of history mysteries, which includes the location of the Holy Grail.
Well,
Right.
I've talked to you that I am really into the whole Templar thing, and that's why I kind of got interested in Freemasons a little bit. But
If anyone's interested along that line of thinking, the book Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Have you read this?
yeah,
Basically, what was the Tom Hanks movie?
Angels and Demons that you're talking about. Or,
Before that one, they basically took Holy Blood, Holy Grail and made it like another book.
Okay.
Drawing a complete blank on what that was, but it was like a huge blockbuster. But they basically just rewrote Holy Blood, Holy Grail, where the guys did all the research of the Knights Templar, and they said they were like the protectors of the Grail. For generations.
I mean, like I said,
The John the
we
Baptist
laughed
and
Yeah.
stuff. That how they
we
felt.
talk and joke about, but I can tell you, I can sit through a whole podcast about right exactly where the fucking Grail is.
Well, the whole point of you
Easter's
going
coming up.
overseas was to.
No, I had to work while I was there. I couldn't just go on
We
vacation.
do have Easter. You guys promised it Easter. Easter's coming up.
Yeah.
So
And
Right.
all I gotta say is, dude, this tour started off with first I couldn't get on a plane because all the winter storms. Because I fly standby, if I can fly basically for free. So that's what took me a second to get there because there's only 2 major flights flying out Philly to Amsterdam.
So what airline do you take?
U.S. Airways, but I can take like Southwest. I can take a bunch of them, but I have to get on like one of the big ones to guarantee I'll have a seat. If I can get on one that guarantees like 30, 40 seats, that's cool. That's what I'm gonna jump on usually.
Now, when I take a flight, I immediately go to the back of the plane. Where do you sit?
Dude, you have a fucking number. They don't just. It's not the.
you can go back there. It's whether they're going to tell you to move or not.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you.
No one's actually told me where to sit, but I immediately go to the back.
Yeah.
And I assume I'm the only person that really...
Worst case scenario, they're just you at the wrong seat. And
Yeah,
then move.
yeah.
And then I'll say, okay, fair enough.
But so
I always try to grab an aisle.
Well, this goes to
until
the-
they tell me to move.
This will tell you a lot about the people's kindness on our fucking international flight. So first of all, the band, I barely can get them allowed on the plane because they're so fucking drunk. So wasted, they can barely fucking walk. So I give them.
So this is before the
They show up
tour
before-
even starts.
They show up. They're just supposed to get on Dayton to Philly by themselves, and I'm just meeting them in Philly, and then I'll go because they just begged me. Oh no, please, we need you to show up with us, and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Fine. I wanted to go to Europe a few days earlier, and I just could not fucking get there. And dude, they showed up and they were so fucking wasted. I was like, oh my god, there's no way we're gonna get these guys on a plane. Like, they got lost in the airport, I had to go find them, all kinds of shit. And then when we got finally on the plane, they started drinking on the plane, and dude, I am falling asleep. In fact, I wake up and one guy's like, I'm in like the exit aisleway, the emergency door. He's just sprawled out laying in front of the fucking floor in front of the door. I didn't think this was legal.
You just you want to take a nap,
Yeah.
What's nerve-wracking for me whenever I take a flight is if my hair will clear in the back. I have a for people that I guess may not know, that I have like a, what would you call it? extension hairpiece,
Wig.
whatever you call it. So I don't want to like draw too much attention to myself in the airport. With the terrorism and all that. I try to keep low key as possible.
Keep your Al Qaeda in the pocket.
Yeah, so I'll put my hair in my bag, and I'm always worried, as they're scanning it, like, Mr. Banks, what's this octopus-like object in your bag?
I was trying to get on a plane with 3 drunk guys on skateboarding through the airport.
Skate or die. That's like I played on Nintendo. All right, anyway, continue.
So number 3 is they say Daniel Bryan is evil. They said because basically conspiracy researchers, Daniel Bryan's pawn an Illuminati scheme to get us to accept their satanic beliefs. For JBL, Leif has been saying that Daniel looks like a goat, a flying goat. There's been some.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. That's a stretch. Like a flying goat.
Yeah. So into that now. What you were talking earlier, I stopped you. Number 2, Diamond Dallas Page is evil.
Wow. Okay. If you go into hand gestures or like symbols, this was the Diamond Dallas Page. As you can see on the podcast, when I'm showing you, Diamond Dallas Page.
Hold on, let me zoom in on it.
Get a good shot of this. Before he did the diamond cutter, he did the bang.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there was a lawsuit later on between
that's a symbol of the pyramid.
Between DDP and Jay-Z.
It doesn't say Jay-Z.
Over who owned the pyramid symbol.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the pyramid
which
symbol.
Which neither one of them owned it. Diamond Dallas Page, evil.
Yes, I believe that, though.
You believe that one?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Number 1,
all of them, he is evil.
The New World Order wrestling stable is evil.
Well, that's an obvious one, right? You have the real New World Order in the real world, and you do a wrestling version of it.
Yeah, exactly.
What do they say?
Just based on what you're saying, like even the reference to it is kind of like.
So they were putting it out there, So, as far as Hulk Hogan being in a legit New World Order, I'm not too sure about that. We keep it real in the pocket. Real alien talk,
Yeah.
We got to keep it real,
Yeah, I doubt he's.
I don't think Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were doing the
major
affiliation with the
conspiracies.
Here's what I think: they just heard it and it sounded cool, and that's the.
Well, I mean, here's one of the things they say, and all this other shit about the NWO and all that stuff. They say the popularity group is also considered a brainwashing exercise system by allowing the New World Order to be portrayed as the good guys in battle against WCW. It allegedly brainwashed the masses into accepting the New World Order as a supreme power of the world.
There was interviews at that time where I think Eric Bischoff, when he was part of that, basically said everybody's going to have to be with New World Order, or you just won't work.
You just won't work, yeah.
Right.
Which is very inner symbolism, kind of,
Very interesting. How are we on time?
I
think we may come back with a special mini episode.
Yeah.
Because I really want to talk about somebody that's coming to Rockstar Pro Arena very soon. That's going to be
the
Devil Man, Kevin Sullivan. I'm very excited about this personally. I'm going to be chilling in the back with Kevin Sullivan, and he's going to be wearing the Dungeon of Doom hood with the red and yellow.
If you want
hood.
to surprise him with something to eat, what would you surprise him with?
Think
about it, and keep it for the second part. If you were like, hey, I know he's going to enjoy this if I show up with this, he'll be like, this is the guy, he knows me.
I'll be very honest, like, I'm not very not intimidated. I don't have many heroes in wrestling or otherwise, but Kevin Sullivan would definitely be one. And we're going to be chilling in the back, smoking a hookah.
Yeah.
And he's going to be wearing the Dungeon of Doom robe.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll drive the monster truck to the...
I think he has the
Do you remember the monster truck? The Dungeon of Doom monster truck? I'm hoping he drives that there to the arena.
Put on the, kind of weird...
Rhino almost had a monster truck.
Yeah, he did.
He did have a monster truck.
Funny story about that. As we were leaving that night, me and Chad were leaving, and we looked and saw a huge SUV.
It's not an SUV. It's bigger than an SUV.
It was like a tank.
It's a fucking big-ass Hummer.
They were like, who... You have to ask Rhino sometime, what's the gas mileage on the thing?
Dude.
I think a gallon of gas would go about 1 mile. And
it was losing gas as we were just staring at it in the parking lot.
I have an idea for a show that we need. I pitched it to him once, and so Rhino, me and him we're okay with each other and stuff,
Acquaintances.
Yeah, so we're thinking about going to Detroit because he has passes to the...
I was taking a trip to
where Rhino and getting a hold of him and going to the Ford Car Museum Because that's where the JFK car assassination's there.
Mm-hmm.
The Ronald Reagan assassination car's there. And we'll make it a day of it. We'll get some fucking ice cream. Rhino likes ice cream.
Right.
We'll
What kind
does
does Rhino like? Neapolitan or like?
I think he'll like any. He really just likes fucking ice cream. He'll eat anything. Yeah.
For those they may not know, your buddy Rhino is a big conspiracy theory person, right?
I don't know conspiracy. I don't know. He's a good
Not
guy
so
to
much?
talk to about stuff.
Just anything?
Yeah.
Just in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a future guest for Real
Yeah,
Aliens.
he'd probably enjoy talking
Cool,
about
cool.
it. Yeah.
We'll definitely have to hook that up.
We'll talk about car conspiracies while we're eating ice cream.
Right. What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
I think we're going to wrap this one up here in just a second. I think we're going to come back with a little bonus episode.
Yeah.
Like I said, Kevin Sullivan's coming to Rockstar, and I have a little theme episode I want to get out.
Yeah.
But this one in particular, we're going to wrap up right now. Real Alien Talk. It's been SG1. It's been real. Ben Parker.
Been good.
Out.
So, you see, Hogan, you're the one that created me. And because of that, it's this simple.